This video goes along with the worksheet evaluating formulas. Often we need to use formulas to solve problems. So we've had some things like perimeter equals twice the length plus twice the width. We have some variables in there. Oftentimes we're given some values or an expression maybe to substitute in for a variable, and we can evaluate and find a quantity. So this reference here to the in class, see the recording, we don't have a virtual class this term, so this is for just the online class. If you're in a virtual class, you'll have a recording specific to the class. So for the first one, example 1, use the perimeter formula. P equals twice the length, 2L plus twice the width, which is we write as 2W, to find the perimeter of a rectangle 3 meters wide and 5 meters tall. Because remember, for a rectangle, I'll just draw a little picture over here. And we can note a little 90 degrees in the corner. We have here we have the width and the length, and we just add up all the sides. So for our formula, it's really L plus W plus W. So I'm just combining like terms and getting this formula here. So now I know that the width is 3 meters, and the height here in this case is 5. So maybe we switch these around just to make it look a little better. So we have 5 meters tall, and then it's going to be 3 meters wide. Okay, it doesn't really matter which ones we call L or W as long as we're consistent. And then we're going to have P equals 2 times L, which we are calling the 5, and the width 3. And then add that twice the width is 3, and then go ahead and crunch your numbers and you'll get the perimeter. So we have 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 times 3 is 6. So we are going to get 16 for our perimeter. And just answer in a sentence is good practice. So you could say the perimeter is 16, and this is in meters. So we always want to put our units if we have them. And then that would be your answer for the first one. So for the second one here, we have evaluate the formula A equals 3n minus 2p when n equals 7 and p equals negative 6. So we have A equals 3 times n is given as 7. So I'm going to write that in parentheses to notate multiplication. And then minus 2 times p is negative 6 for n. And now I'm going to crunch my numbers on the right hand side. So we have 3 times 7 is 21. And then we could actually rewrite this as plus negative 2 just to make it more clear that I'm adding. And then I have 2 negatives. Negative 2 times negative 6 would give me a positive 12. And then my area is going to be 33. Okay, I'm just adding the 21 and the 12, and then I can write over here. I'm not given any units or anything, just A. So I actually don't know if it's area or what. It doesn't tell me. So I'm just going to go ahead and box that in. For the next one, given the formula y equals 2/3 x squared plus 5, find y when x equals negative 3. So, I mean, you could try this on your own too. We're just going to take negative 3 and we're going to put it in for x. Now, do be careful when you put that in for x that you use parentheses. Even if you didn't have a coefficient there, you should use parentheses, because if very different things happening when we have -3 all squared with the negative inclusive, that's going to be a +9. But if I just wrote it like this, that actually just equals -9, because I would do my exponent first, then tack on the negative. Okay, so that's just a little note to be aware of. And so when I go ahead and do this, I want to make sure I do my exponent part first. So that's 2/3 times 9 plus 5. Then I can simplify before I multiply. 3 into 3 is 1, 3 into 9 is 3. And then I end up with y equals 6 plus 5, which equals 11. Again, there's really no units or context, so I'm just going to leave it as that. Okay, now we have a little note here to make formulas easier to work with. We use some rules to make the expressions simpler. So we're going to talk about this a lot more later, but let's look at a couple here. Combining like terms is what we do when we combine similar things. So when we have the exact same variable part, we can put them together. So like say this formula a equals 3p plus 2n plus 5p minus n, we can streamline and combine like terms. And you've been doing that in your lessons, right? So it's like 3 potatoes plus 5 potatoes is 8 potatoes, right? And the same thing here, 2 nuts minus 1 nut is just 1 nut. And we don't write the coefficient if it's 1, we just put the letter. So here we have simplify 2x minus 4y plus 2 plus 6x minus 5 plus y. So we're just going to combine some like terms. So we have the x's, so 2x plus 6x is going to be 8x. So we just add the coefficient and leave the variable part exactly as is. Now for the y's, we have minus 4y, or maybe you want to think of it as plus a negative 4y. It's up to you. And plus a y, so that's going to give me a minus 3y. And then the last piece here, I have my constants. Plus 2 minus 5 is going to give me a plus negative 3, or you could just say subtract 3 or minus 3. Any of those ways to say it is totally fine. So that is it for this one. And we can't add apples and oranges together, so to speak. So anything that's unlike terms, we're just going to leave as is. It's an expression. We can't solve it or anything. We're just going to box it in, and that's our answer. All right, so I hope that helps. And you're going to go on and do this second page on your own, just plugging in values and crunching the numbers. Here's another example here where you have to distribute. It's very similar to what you've been working on in your lessons. If you have any trouble, just let me know. If you want to see any specifics, just try your best on that. Have a great day.